Welcome to the Two Alphas Talk. Tonight, we're going to talk to you about a few topics and mostly about police officers and involvement with citizens, armed citizens, as a matter of fact. So stay tuned. Yeah, so first and foremost, we got to get the sponsorship out of the way.
Yep. Who's
Keep this
sponsoring
running.
this?
Keep
this
this running.
I don't know who's
Saber
sponsoring
Team
this.
Tactical
Somebody's sponsoring it. I got so many windows open. All right. Type in saberteamtactical.com and go to the top right hand corner and click on classes. And our class schedule will be up in January or before.
Yeah.
So we just got approved
later on that month, definitely. Yep.
half the training schedule. So the other half will get approved
shortly.
in the next week. Shortly.
Yep.
And
but we still have private one-on-one classes. We have some appointments available. Sign up. We go through an assessment. Make sure that we can figure out where you are in your firearms understanding, and then we go from there. We'll push you. We'll push you to the next level, guaranteed.
Mm-hmm. And we got various amount of classes for you guys that we're gonna have. They'll be basically the same class list. Al got some caveats going to add in there to it. So if you guys miss any this year, you can catch them up next year. You can go to the About page, read what we're about, our backgrounds, and such. And also, there's a way to contact us on the page. And there's a phone number, email, or you can send a lovely message. And the follows will take you to the Saber Team, Facebook page, Twitter page, Instagram, and also it'll take you to the show's page on YouTube, and you can check us out and some of the shows we do on there. As of this time, the online store is still up, but I will be disabling it this week. So I'm bringing it down, saying goodbye to the store. Store is going to be gone.
It's been around for a while too.
Yeah, and but it's just not getting the traction that it used to. So we're going to stop it. And for all you guys that need some stuff, I don't know what to tell you.
eBay.
Yeah, eBay it. So one thing I want to talk about, a lot of guys, we live in the state of Georgia, and we have one of the biggest races, not races, but
campaign
Senate race that's going on in the United States. And it's Warnock and Herschel Walker. And they're battling it out for the Senate seat. And it's very interesting what's going on. Now, I've heard some rumors that the Senate seat, if Herschel Walker wins it, now this was a rumor. It was me and Al talked offline about this, so I'm going to tell what we talked about too. And the Speaker of the Senate, Mitch McConnell, was stating that he was trying to get Joe Manchin to come over to the Republican side. I think I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. And but it was an article. Joe Manchin said if Herschel Walker wins it, he's not coming over to the Republicans. He'll come over to the Independent, AWK. And so he'll stay as an independent, and usually he votes with Democrats. But Joe Manchin has been a real stickler voting against the Democrats in the past 2 years. So the Democrats have told Joe Manchin he cannot get reelected in his own state as a Democrat. His governor even vowed to say he would be thrown out of the Senate.
Wow.
Because of what he's done against the Democratic Party. And so he's backed up against a wall. Now, if now it's all based on the December 6th. If December 6th, if if Herschel Walker wins, it'll be was it 51-48?
49.
Oh, 49. I mean 50-49, 50-49. And they'll have the Senate by one vote. Now, doesn't mean nothing because everybody knows the Republican Party never sticks together. So them cats will backstab you down the road. So we still got that bill, HR 1808, that's still sitting in the seat, and it's still a scary scenario. Even if Herschel Walker wins it, we still may end up losing it because the Republicans themselves are like herding cats, and they will destroy us themselves. They're already doing it, you know, and because they're fighting against themselves already, and it's not making any sense why. And but on a positive note, off of that is Jim Jordan out of the House. Well, let's take it back up a step. The Everybody knows that the ATF is coming after braces, and then the ATF is waiting on December 6th before they come out with their ruling on brace, because the brace ruling is not in HR 1808. That's something they forgot to put in there.
Imagine that.
So what their ruling is, they want to come out and make all the brace fall under the NFS requirement. So you have to get a tax stamp in order to have a brace. Now, brace is a non-serial number item. So what they're going to try to do is make it'll be a felony if you possess it.
Wow.
and don't have a tax stamp. And so what they want you to do, once they come out with a ruling, take a picture of your firearm, give them the serial number of your AR that it's on, and then send that in with your $200 and with the description of your gun, and now you have a legal firearm. But guess what you just did? You just put yourself on the ATF database. So when they come and say those braces are illegal, because that's the next step, once they get everybody to register, they'll say the braces are illegal, turn them in, and you say, okay, I'll just turn in the brace. They're going to say, no, we want the serial number item
Right.
that brace is attached to. So
the one that's in this picture.
the one is in that picture. You have to turn it all in, you know? And it's an old game that they're playing, and a lot of you guys are going to fall for it. I already see some of these guys getting ready to fall for it. And but let's go back to Jim Jordan has put out a letter. Omar has put out a letter and stating that he's going after the head of the ATF, and they're going to start hearings as of next week. And so he's going to try to put this guy under a microscope. He wants to ask him about the backdoor thing that they're doing with braces, and why did they make braces legal? Then all of a sudden now they're trying to change them to make them illegal, and going against all the American people. Because once you turn those braces in, I don't know how many millions of braces have been sold in the United States, but it's like 8 to 9 million. But it'd be 8 to 9 million people immediately overnight be turned into felons. You can no longer carry those your firearm with a brace outside the house anymore, and or to the range.
Right, but the thing that a lot of guys, if you're being factual with yourself, we all did that. We all did that. We all went and got it when that first came out about 7 years ago, I think it was, when I started seeing it more popular. You beat the SBR ruling by putting a brace on it, right?
Yeah.
But now, these guys got smart, and because for the longest time it was like, are you serious? You can just put this on and keep moving. You don't have to do anything else. And it's like, yeah. Then you got the measurements, as long as it's under 26 inches and this, that, and the other. Or it's 26 and longer.
It's classified as a pistol.
Right, but it's like a loophole. Yeah. And now they're closing the loophole.
But the thing of it is, if you go read this crime statistic reports, there's no firearms
that's my point.
With a brace that's been used in an active shooter or crimes.
Right.
They're not using them.
It's just an inconvenience because they don't want you to have it, and they realize that people have gotten around getting a permission for an SBR by using it as a pistol.
Yeah, but you still gotta go down and register. You have to go through a background check to even get the firearm. So
Right.
I'm not even understanding what are they getting at. It's not like you're getting it illegally. You're
Right.
going out to the store and buying a brace. The brace is just an add-on piece,
Right.
but they acting like the brace itself is enhancing the pistol or slash rifle
Right.
to make it work even better. It's
It
stupid.
doesn't. And the thing is, the very first time that I saw one of those, like a AR pistol, I thought it was stupid. I really did, and it was because back then all they had was that foam bumper on the back of the buffer tube.
And remember, see,
So,
back
like, who
then
wants
you
that?
couldn't. You had to have a real brace.
No, there were no braces back then. I'm talking
there
about
weren't no
like
braces?
92, 94.
Did your AR have a rubber band on it? It has a slingshot, right? So, but
and it had like a little crosshair in the front of it.
Yeah.
When we were in the biplane, we can shoot at the other biplane.
right, hand crank, shooting rocks.
Exactly. But no. And back
So
then, when the brace became popular somewhere around, I would say 99, 2000, and it started picking up steam because that big brace, that the first one out, one of
the
these
big
guys,
sloppy one that had to go on your arm.
Yep, SB
Right.
something like that. So that one, that's like 2010 when I first saw
That
it.
was 2010.
Yeah, when I first saw that
I'm
one,
old,
it was about
dude.
10,
I'm old.
and that's when it was kind of piquing my interest. I bought
I wasn't into guns like that.
I
back
bought
then.
an MPAP.
Yeah, well, 2010 I was. Yeah, I just got out the army.
Yeah, it was a I think it was an M92. Omar has it, the same one. And that gun, when I bought it, I put the brace on it, and it was to get around the fact that it was SBR, and nobody said anything back then. There were no rulings or anything. Then all of a sudden, it was illegal to shoulder. So I got rid of it.
Right.
It
was illegal to
then
shoulder.
they said, no, okay, you can shoulder. Then you can't shoulder. Then you can shoulder it only on Tuesdays. Now, forget it. I don't want to do it. I don't want it.
Right.
You know, and that's what it's come down to. It doesn't have to, it's not illegal. I mean, even with everything that WK just said with the brake, the PAP 92, the brace, a trigger, a vertical grip, 30 round magazine.
PAP 92, but he also gave us something. He said the brace, a trigger, a vertical grip,
all
30 round magazine.
Right.
It will never stop. Yeah. So you can still have a 30. Yeah.
Well, no, he's saying all of these things would be things that they're trying to take away.
They're trying to go after. They are.
The brace with a
and
vertical
a 30 round
grip
magazine and a trigger, they're going after. They forgot to put the brace on there.
The brace, right? But the first thing was that if you had a brace, you can have an angle foregrip, but you couldn't have a vertical foregrip. And it was like, what's the difference, bro? Like what you just mentioned, the enhancement. It didn't enhance you. If you were a piss poor shooter, you're gonna still be a piss poor shooter, whether it's vertical or angled.
Yeah, I'm saying I gotta hold my hands up like this.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're gonna be a sappy shooter.
Right.
You know,
it didn't matter. It wouldn't matter. But I think that's one of the biggest things now. Same thing. All right, here's another one. So in the news this week, the New York, they made a big bust on some guy that was building guns out on Long Island, and he was creating them or putting them together. And when they showed the video of the confiscated guns, they were all factory manufactured guns.
I saw that.
Bolt action rifles in there. They were
saw
like
that.
Winchesters and Savage guns. It was not like something that you see. Come on, dude. Who's doing a bank robbery with a 30-06?
Yeah. They're fabricating charges on these guys, and they're trying to make them stick. And if you go read the case down the road, you'll realize that the guy won't get charged for all this stuff. You know.
Well, you know, and that was what I said too. I said, you know, when you look at it right now, they got the dudes under arrest. They promoting it, how they got these confiscated these guns, and there's 3,000 rounds of ammunition. He's gonna, what's that? A whole month.
I'm prime example of that. I'll tell you about it someday. You know,
right? But they promoted this guy. They promote all this stuff, and they make the people up there feel good, and that they're protected. And then when it turns around, and you heard the citizens. There was one lady, like a soccer mom out there, and she's like saying that she feels safer now, that she didn't know what was going on, and that there's children here.
Right.
The dude, he was assembling guns.
I was going to say something crazy, but
Obviously, it was crazy.
It was crazy. It was gonna be really crazy. I do want to make an announcement though. I didn't mean to cut you short because my thought. We're on YouTube and we're also on Rumble, my man.
So Rumble went through, huh?
Yeah, Rumble went through. We on Rumble, god dang. So I figured it out, and we've been having problems with Rumble, but I got it figured out now.
There so it is.
We'll be running Rumble every single time. All right, so yeah, I always get the bleeding heart soccer mom, you know, and she, usually overweight. And
no, this one was about 130, 120 pounds.
Oh, okay. Overweight.
Typical, you know, just unbelievable when you feel safer because somebody you didn't even know was in your neighborhood selling guns is now under arrest. You didn't even know he was there. Right. How does that make you feel safer?
That's why I don't talk to my neighbors. You know?
Yeah.
Really talk to them.
But there were two cases. One was a young guy and he's like 20, and then he was in an apartment, and then another guy on Long Island, he was a 50-year-old guy. And I'm like, yo, these dudes weren't doing. What crime did they commit? What crime did they make? Did they tell me that the guy in the young one, he had those little boxes you put on the back of the Glocks that make them spit all the rounds out at one time. That crap. But I mean that was it, and those are all 3D printed, so it wasn't like he was. What did he do? That's my point. What did he do?
It was nothing illegal. You can build your own.
You gotta see the way they promoted this. I mean, it was a dog and pony show.
Right. Oh yeah, they're gonna make an example out of you. Oh, that's their total goal is to make an example.
Right.
They're gonna get you with a vengeance. But let's pivot over and talk about stupid people. Yeah. There's a couple of things that happened this week. One with police officers, and both of them were police officers. One was positive. One was not positive. Let's talk about the not positive one first. So we look at city of Austin family. I guess their son was mentally challenged or something like that. He had some mental issues, and this was in Austin. So they call the police. Police gets there, and I don't have the video to that one. Yeah, it's been taken down all over the internet.
That's Illinois.
No, not the Illinois. Hold on a minute. Yeah. I just had some audio go off in my background. And hey, Jean. I don't know if she can hear me.
You didn't put that.
She got headphones on. Trying to get this fixed.
You got to put the studio sign up. You got to put the studio sound up.
All right, I'm back, people.
Quiet on set. Quiet on set.
Yeah, quiet on set. Let's see. Okay. Oh, you got your echo on.
Yeah, it's still going. My bad.
Okay. So let me go to this article. I'm not going to put the article up, guys, because it's basically the parents in there pleading with the
right. The parents were okay. There's 200. The one.
Okay. No. Oh, I'm in the wrong one. Okay. Thank you. You're
welcome.
So thank you. Keep me on track.
Okay.
Body cam. This was Colorado, right?
That one is the one you're talking about. Is
the sheriff deputies in Illinois. Right. Illinois. Thank you. There it is. I'm on the right article. I got like 1,000 pages open.
Oh, I figured.
And so the sheriff, they released this video of the body cam footage of the shooting, and I think I can show you a picture of it, but I don't have the video. Let me go.
That one has the video.
Oh, it does?
That one that I sent you, the Daily Mail, has the video.
It's not on here. Oh, they took it. Hold on. They took it down.
Oh,
they took it down.
Let me see.
Yeah. It said
it's I'm not gonna say horrific, but it is definitely not a thing.
Okay, I got it.
Okay.
Let's play the video. We got it. We got the video. We have the video. All right, let's put this up. Yep, I got it. Let's see. There we go. All right, let me make this bigger. Is it bigger?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me go. All right, so I'm gonna take something out so everybody can see. Well, I'm gonna leave that in. All right, so let me go ahead and play this.
Yeah, that's
And-
enough for where the action happens. You can see it.
Yeah, this is where the action happened. This
No, listen to me, please. Please, please, stop right there. Stop right there. No, please. Put the knife down. I will not put this knife down. Now, all I want to do. Put the knife down. My mother. Step. Put the knife down now. Put it down. Put it down now. Stop. Stop. Put it down. 67 shots fired by, please.
now, that was a mess. That was a complete mess, guys.
Yeah.
So basically, the guy, it kind of pisses you off because they were point shooting, okay, and they did not. You saw when the kid went down and launched up, they fired, and then when they fired, they hit the dad. At that point, they hit the
It was
kid.
his grandfather, but yeah, they fired and okay. When you don't have training or you have a limited amount of training, you only can go but so far. And I'm going to tell you this as a Monday morning quarterback, and I'm 100% when I'm a Monday morning quarterback. But it's called a contact shot, and at that point, you got to get up there and use that gun like a damn knife, and you get close to that guy, and you can't miss because there's an innocent that had nothing. That grandfather had no reason to be shot. So you got to get on that boy's ass, and you got to put that gun right up next to his head, his gut, wherever you want to hit him, and you got to let it roll. And if you get one off, you better clear it and get another one off. That's what has to happen. But you have to understand that there's only certain people that have that type of mindset and training. And those guys clearly, when that dude said drop the knife and he said, no, I'm not going to drop it, he just told you. He just told you, I'm not going to drop the knife. He said that. So at that point, you have to make a decision. And I'm sure they don't know. They didn't know that dude was going to lunge at him like that.
Yeah, but another thing, what the grandfather? Why would he even step forward? You know, I understand.
That's his grandson, bro.
I know.
Some people don't. You can discern and say, you know what, I'm done with you. I've seen you. You done with somebody, man. You cut them off. There's people that go round and round and round and round again because they're hoping that something's going to get better and that he's going to change his time. Yeah, and it's his grandson. But I can understand it.
Everybody knows if you call the police and somebody got mental issues, you know it's going to happen.
And that's the scary part too. And that's one of the things that I'm going to keep my personal opinion myself, but don't call the police for stuff like that. Seriously.
Right.
You have a situation where somebody needs medical attention, even mental medical attention. You need to take that person or what's called the EPS. And at that point, when you EPS somebody, the government's coming to get them. And it's going to be just like that. It's just going to be just like that. Because that boy was definitely off his meds.
And a lot of the police officers coming up are not trained to deal with mental cases. And they see a knife and they like, and that dude, first thing he did right.
Yeah.
He pulled his firearm out.
Right.
Once he told him no, the dude said no, his firearm comes out. Now, once he made a step toward the grandfather, he got into a firing position, even though his buddy behind him flagged him and got into a fight.
And see that, you know, for us, we say that because we do a lot of work with civilians. I'm telling you, you talk to a police officer and they tell you the truth. Not somebody that's going to shine everything up, make it look good. They flag each other all day long, every day.
I can say it from the military, a lot of flagging happens.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? People are downrange, those guns are pointed at each other.
Yep.
And it just happens. You know, I mean, it happens.
Right.
You know, everybody picked up a gun, they pointed at each other, they're checking
Now, see,
this out.
this is the difference because when we have somebody and a gun is pointed or muzzles in our direction, we whoa, watch this out. The key to it is don't shoot him.
Right.
Don't shoot him. You know,
Right.
and that's the same thing. I would suggest that same attitude toward the grandfather.
Right.
There's certain times where you cannot use a firearm.
Right.
Right. It's that old adage with a carpenter. The only tool he has is a hammer. It's gonna find a use for it every time, and that's the same thing with this. It's hard Monday morning quarterback. You should have got your ass baton out and hit him
No,
across the knees.
I didn't say none of that. I didn't say
I'm
none
not
of
talking
that.
about you. I'm saying other people, and the fact that we're
Right.
even discussing it, we're Monday morning quarterbacking it. But
Yeah,
the thing
we
is,
are, but we
you
didn't say
No.
only
so what would you suggest he do?
the only thing we're saying is get behind your sights.
Even
And
if he got behind his sights and he's a piss poor shooter, he still would have shot the old man. If he's low left, old man getting a couple in his thigh and his groin.
Even though the old man juggler got hit too.
Yeah, and then according to the report, you can't really tell because everybody's blotted it out
He-
because
he's blood
people
on
are
the
upset.
ground, man.
But
He
they
got
said
hit.
he was still stabbing them while they were on the ground.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, that's why they continue. That's why they continue to shoot again. But the only
and the grandfather wasn't fighting back.
the grandfather's 70 years old, bro. What fight?
Come on, man.
What fight? See, you're gonna be a 70-year-old former military badass. This 70-year-old dude might have been a Waffle House cook. What kind of fighting he's gonna do?
Waffle House cooks are bad because they get in gun battles all the time.
Well, it's kind of if you work at Waffle House, you automatically have this
you might want to say
defensive
IHOP.
tactic. IHOP, there you go. IHOP. That's a nice place.
Yeah, Waffle House cooks. I seen them boys get behind the counter and go knock somebody out, and then go
Yeah.
back cook pancakes.
Exactly, and look, don't drop the ashes on his cigarette neither.
No, you're gonna drop them in your pancakes.
That's the flavor, man. They
Oh,
don't,
nasty.
and they don't make pancakes at Waffle House. They make waffles.
Well, they're gonna
Just to
drop
let
them
you
in
know.
your waffle batter.
That's
And you're gonna be like,
that's flavor.
That's nasty. The place smells like every Waffle House smells like cigarettes, bacon, and waffles. Get out of here, man.
Man,
That's
it's a national
As
treasure.
always, everybody's cooking ain't got no teeth. You ever notice that? Come
Yeah.
on, now we get
Yeah.
yeah, we're getting off subject.
Yeah, but I'm reading this thing, and the dude they report that he said, "I will not put this knife down. I will not
Yes,
put this knife
he
down."
said it. He
Yep.
said it.
Mhm.
And he got into a springing position
Yep.
instead of going down. Yeah.
So the grandfather was 70, and
Mm-hmm.
the thing about it is we talk about it all the time is training. You're gonna
Grandfather
you're gonna
should
fall back to
immediately-
it.
Once the cops came in, grandfather should immediately went toward the police.
He should have. That
Yeah.
in hindsight, but at the same time,
Yeah.
with everything that's going on, and black men are being killed by the police on an exponentially high number.
You
That's
call
the-
the police because he has a knife and he offers his meds.
Right.
So you are afraid.
Right.
So your help came, and now.
But he
you
probably
think-
still wanted to stay there to make sure that his grandson was taken care of, even though
Oh,
his
he got
grandson
taken
was
care of,
Looney
all
Tunes.
right.
Right.
And both got taken care of.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the sad thing is that there's not much that the government or a lawsuit is going to do.
No,
Can't bring them back for one, and
No.
two, they're not out of their realm of ability to do what they did, because
Right,
that's a recourse that they had and they took it. Doesn't mean it's the right one, but
Right.
you can't. I can second guess and say, well, I would have did this, I would have did that, but in court of law, they didn't do
Yeah.
anything wrong.
No, they didn't. I
They
didn't
didn't
say
do
they
it.
did do anything.
No,
wrong.
we're not saying that. What I'm saying, with the lawsuit going on and the families complaining, saying that they shouldn't have did this, they had no other recourse,
Mhm.
and especially if they had no training.
Yeah.
Oh, they've already. The next question I'm answering, the question that I see it, they've already done that. There's a wrongful death lawsuit already going on
Yeah. Well, they're gonna probably get some money because
to go away.
Yeah, to go away because
Mm-hmm.
every bullet is accountable in the police department, so they will get paid by the city.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a given. They will get paid.
Mm-hmm.
Wrongful death. Yeah, it's
But the thing is, when they got there, you got a guy that's actively trying to kill somebody. See, that's what I'm saying to you. And then, yeah, you can legally squeeze something out of that because they didn't do anything that was
malice.
Make it work, right? Malice. There you go. That's a good word. Right. There was no malice in what they did. Their response is what they saw, and they responded to what they perceived to be a dangerous act.
Yeah, they did everything that they should have done. It's just the point shooting. You know, they should have been aiming. What they should have done was go, like you said, put that firearm straight in his face and pull the trigger.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Especially while he was on the ground. That's all he had to do.
But you go back to your training. If you never trained that way, you never done anything like that, you won't do that.
Yeah.
You won't do that. And what you're saying about the point shooting, that's what they do. Once the stress kicks in, we all point shoot. Ain't nobody getting by. And when you realize, shit, I'm missing, or this guy's not dropping, then you settle down and find the front sight again. Or the dot.
It might be too late at that point.
Exactly. You know? That's why, and hey, look, check this out. Old man's going to hit you with this one. That's why the dot is probably better for everybody.
See that, guys? Look at his hand. Look at his hand.
Because the dot, you superimpose that dot on there with both eyes open, that is probably the better way to fire, especially in a situation like this, than to think you're going to line up a rear sight and a front sight in 2 instead of 1. So all those guys that I was arguing with before about red dots, now I just made the argument for them.
Yeah, so red dots are ideal.
Oh, yeah. But because now you're looking at your intended target, you superimpose the dot on them, and you got right there, it's probably...
And you got him. You got him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just so like I said, the dots lined up.
Put it in his mouth, on his forehead.
Yep.
This. Only way
I've been through that type of training. That's the reason why I said that.
Do that is when it was on the ground. You couldn't do it while he was standing.
No.
But when he was on the ground stabbing his dad, you could have just put it right in his face. Boom, pull the trigger. He would have stopped.
As close as they are together.
Yeah.
It is as soon as that dude jumped on the grandfather, you have to get close and do it then. There's no way that you can fire until you get closer. It takes a special
person to do that.
And it takes a nut job, bro.
And not a lot of people.
They don't have it.
A lot of people ain't built for that.
No,
a lot of people ain't built for that.
Yeah. I could tell you some of the people that I met, and in the training, role playing, we were using simunitions, and that was the kind of stuff that you had to do because it was tight quarters. It wasn't the perfect scenario. Take 20 paces, turn and shoot. We're not doing that. It was you're having a conversation with somebody, and some of these things, which was great training, is that you got the headgear on, you got a firearm. You padded up and ready to go, even you got gloves on. And then some of the situations they're talking to you about family. And then you're kind of like, we were on guard. And they're like, they will lull you to sleep because this guy will walk away. And there was nothing, he wasn't the one. Then the next guy come to you and he started to strike up a conversation, and then all of a sudden he's lunging at you like this situation. And that was what you had to respond to. So you didn't know what ladies the same way. Everybody in there was all the same. If somebody came at you and they're talking to you, so what do you like about this class? And then you're like, well, and you had to answer. They were like, you can't just not stand there. So you had to speak back to the person, engage them in a conversation. And at any time, you may be attacked by the guy that's talking to the guy over here. So there's another guy standing here talking. We're all in a line. And it was tight. And you had to fight the person, fight 2 of them. Or if these 2 attack me, this guy make a decision. And that was a really good course, and we had just thrown that together just to see, because there was a lot of incidents that were happening similar to what these guys here. So we're trying to get some training to mimic that for the future. And it's the same knee-jerk reaction. Like after 9/11, all of a sudden we got super magnetometers and a TSA. We didn't have that before that. So it's the knee-jerk reaction, and we'll probably never ever have another incident like that. But we're prepared just in case.
Yeah. They're pretty close.
Yeah.
I mean, that one right there is exhausting just to think about what happened.
Yeah, so it is, and on top of that, if it does get to a civil trial, it would probably be good for us and people like us to pay attention to that stuff, because then you would get to read and see what those officers actually went through and that type of training they had and what their backgrounds are about. Because I would imagine that some of those dudes, at least the first guy that was in there. I don't know if he does a lot of shooting, and he may, but the way he,
I don't know the way he pulled his gun out.
he
pulled
took
it
too
out.
long, bro. You
Yeah.
could do it on a knife, and you already walked through the threshold. The guy
shoulda
had the knife out when he first.
You should have saw. He should have had it out.
Yeah, well, again, I don't know if they've already prepared this and it's the way they work, where the second guy is going to be the cover and this guy's going to do all the talking.
I know what happened. They walked in, they saw black people, and them dudes was like, "Oh hell!"
Oh shit!
I guarantee you, that's what it was. They second guessed the social scenario
Well,
because
you think they were slow to the draw just because they were black?
Sure do.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, if that's the
do.
case, then why wouldn't they? When you say it like that, you got to also say that the reason why they fired indiscriminately is because they didn't care about the black people. Then we're talking about implicit bias. And they tried a little bit. They tried a little bit, and now
I understand what you're saying, but they didn't reload. Now I can
There's 17
understand
rounds in the gun. They only needed 12.
I know, but if they did it because of black people, you know how the cats did back in the day. It'd have been like 60 shots, and they only had 2 of them. You know what I'm saying? So they would have emptied the gun once, reloaded, emptied the gun again. They didn't do that.
I don't think that it went that far. I think that when they fired, they honestly were trying to get this guy to stop.
Yes,
I think that they were limited in their training, so they didn't know how to get this guy to stop. But because when the dude was still stabbing him while he was on the ground, they still fired. You can hear the grandfather saying, "Stop shooting,"
and you can see the guy still. The grandfather getting stabbed as he's saying,
"Stop shooting," because he's feeling the rounds go through him.
He's getting shot too.
Right.
Yeah,
and at that close range, I don't know what type of ammunition they were having, but you can imagine that there was something with over. Yeah, it does over penetration.
No, they're on the floor. They're on the floor. It doesn't matter when you got the will to do harm to somebody. It doesn't matter if you get shot anywhere in your body. You will still carry it out if you got that foresight.
Absolutely, that's that. I'm talking about the grandfather, not the psycho. The grandfather was saying stop shooting because he was getting hit, whether it was direct hits or going through the body of his grandson.
I've been trying to roll away from the cat. Why was he still sitting there laying next to him?
He's 70 years old. 70 years old.
I had an echo. I wish I had an echo. And I know what you're saying. I'm just saying it was all around grandfather trying to protect his grandson after he made a fatal mistake of calling the police to deal with his son that's out of control because he's afraid.
Yes.
And once he did that, he did not take cover to get away from the scenario.
How they ran out of the house so fast.
He embraced his grandson with a knife, knowing he's unstable, trying to protect him from the police now.
And the grandson got mad that the grandfather called the police.
Called the police.
I'm sure that's the reason why he jumped at I mean, you up having an argument with him, and apparently on one of these it says that they were arguing in the past over some.
This has been happening a long time.
Right. It's not the first time.
It's not the first time. This is when he called the police, probably. Yeah, he had enough.
Wow, they said it. And one of this is saying that it was he had been instituted already. He was in an institution.
See, I mean, he's nuts, man. He wouldn't have been in my house. I'm sorry, grandson. Wow. If the parents can't take care of him, he ain't in my crib. You know what I'm saying? Especially he's unstable. I'm sorry,
dude. It was had a 10-day. Intense 10-day period, about 4 to 5 hours before his fatal shooting.
Damn. So he's been raging. He was raging for 10 days before they finally called the police. And grandfather couldn't take no more of it.
He had just gotten out of a mental health facility after 10 days. So he was in there 10 days for intensive training or whatever they would do for 4 to 5 hours a day. God bless America. It didn't work.
Well, he was gone. He was gone, and they tried to protect him from the police.
After they called him.
After they called him.
Don't call him.
Yeah, don't call him. Deal with it, and and do what you got to do. because it didn't turn out good.
And their attorneys alleging that these officers or they were deputies from the sheriff's department failed to de-escalate the situation. I hope they watch that video.
Right.
They might give them, maybe a couple thousand to bury them, but damn, that's you got to get your house in order, bro. You got somebody that's like that in the house, you got to take care of them, and you got to send them to. And 10 days not enough.
Hey, you ain't coming in my house.
Send them
Once, if I got to put you down in the mental institution, you ain't coming back. That's it, bro. You're done.
Yeah, it's hard, man. That's a hard decision to make.
I'm hard.
I know you are. I said the rest of us normal people. The rest of us normal people.
You got to go. I don't care if it's raining. You ain't staying here. I've done it before.
I know.
I will do it again.
I didn't bring up anything personal, but I know you're Stilo, bro. And you ain't having that.
No,
not here.
Right. Unfortunately, had to take my sibling out of the house and put her in the ambulance because of her psychological episode.
Right.
You got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? And especially if they got mental issues, and for us Second Amendment guys who got firearms in the house, that is a huge red flag for us to rectify and fix this problem as quick as as quickly as we can, because it can turn into a dangerous situation for us while we sleep, or when we come home and walk into a scenario.
Hey, that would be that's the worst of it. The other part is you get somebody that calls in on you, and you live in one of these states like state of Maryland, and they red flag you because somebody else in your house is unstable,
freaked out. And you got to get rid of all your stuff.
Oh, they confiscate it.
Right. So the police officers and EMS workers thank me, but it definitely could have taken a turn into a bad situation.
Yeah, go back 2 more.
I'll go back 2 more.
Yeah, we're 10, 13. That's where it started.
I read that one.
Oh, I thought that was you talking.
That.
Oh, similar situations. I thought that was you talking.
No, I read that one.
Yep.
No.
And then the final, that's it.
She's
right there.
no longer allowed around me.
And that's what you got to do. You got to get that legal paperwork to keep those people at bay.
Right. Because they will come over to try to get some turkey and stuff. He's like, nah, you ain't coming in my house. You know what I'm saying?
And then, with family, especially most of the people, normal people, except this guy. Oh, yeah, he's over there this time. What's that?
I'm on this side.
Yeah, that way. Yeah. They let people back in. They second chances, 13 chances, 14 chances. And then on top of it, somebody else gets soft in the house, and then they talk you into it, and these things happen. Happen,
I don't care if they're a relative, whatever. Yeah, you can be a sister, brother. I don't care if you're gonna act out or whatever. You got to go. Yeah, I have no problem.
And that leads us into the second one. The second one is the other way, goes the other direction.
Okay, let's describe this one a little bit before we show a little bit of the video. So this cat, what was his
Raj.
Raj. What state was this?
That's Dallas.
This is Austin, Texas.
Right.
Austin, Texas. It's Austin, Texas is like Berkeley of Texas. And so this guy, he was afraid. So he goes out and buys an AR and to protect himself in his home. That's an apartment. And so he said he came home and he noticed something. His stuff was moved around in this house. Either he could have been having a mental psychosis or something going on. But he said some stuff was moved around. So instead of him calling the police, he grabs his AR, immediately goes outside. We got video of this. He patrols out in front of his place. As he's coming outside, the security guard sees him on the facility's cameras, calls the police, and said, there's a man out here with a rifle. And he describes what he's doing. He's walking around. Then all of a sudden, he goes back to his doorstep and takes 2 shots. And
he took 1 shot.
Oh, was it 1 shot?
He took 1 shot and then came back and took another shot.
Oh,
remember,
okay.
He took the 1 shot. And then he's walking around and he came back and shot again. And that's the second time when the officer hears it.
The video doesn't show the first shot.
Right.
It just shows the second shot.
He shows the second shot, right?
Right. And so police are responding.
And they said it was a warning shot.
Right.
To who?
Who doing warning shots?
Right.
When is that legal? It's never legal.
Never.
Police get up on the scene, see the guy with a rifle, drops him, yells out, "Drop your gun, police!" He doesn't. Guy's yelling something.
No,
Hits
the
him.
officer did what you said the first time. As soon as he got on scene, he fired for the most part as he
Right,
was
he
yelling
did.
out, "Drop the gun," and then
After.
the
Right.
guy yells back, "I'm not the one,"
Right.
but
You're the one
too
now.
late, right? Too late.
Yeah, you're the one now.
Mm-hmm.
Because we'll discuss it after. Let me show you guys a video.
Right.
And this is from the Austin Police Department. It's on Yahoo, reported by NBC. So this is going to be a fair use piece. Let me. No,
So the other thing too is that we didn't add in is that when he takes that first shot, aka warning shot, he turns himself into an active shooter.
yeah, and that's what I was going to talk about after I show the video.
Okay.
All right, here we go, guys. Check this out. Now you see him going downstairs here. And he comes back here. Police pulls up on the scene. They cut that out on this one.
Right.
You see it?
That's the police right there.
I know, but
I
they
know, but the
cut
other
out.
video showed them right.
They cut out when he was doing the shooting. See, they're trying to make like he didn't
Oh
shoot.
yeah, I'm
saw
telling
that?
you. Yeah.
Yeah. Is
Check
there
that other
another
one I
video?
sent you.
I got another one.
Yeah, the Daily Mail. I think I sent you on.
Okay, let me stop this one. You said Daily Mail?
Yeah, no, it's KVUE. I guess that's
Okay,
a local
KVUE.
Dallas.
Okay, I got that one.
one.
Let me see if I can find that video on this one. Oh, this one here's got the 911 call. Okay. All right. Let's play this one from the beginning because it got the 911 call.
Yeah, and it shows him on
Yeah.
the video from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yep, there you go.
Let me kill this one and bring up this one. Because it's interesting stuff to see this. This is how stupid people are.
But see, you keep saying that word, but these people
Well,
don't have the experience, nor do they go to training to learn this stuff. You and I combined have a lot of that years in training, and not only from being behind the gun, but what to do. You had a great idea when we first started talking about that reholstering in an active shooter situation, or even in any shooting situation. We had to, once everything drops down, so that when the cops get on the scene, they don't see you standing over somebody thinking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But most people don't think of things like that.
Right.
They think, "Oh, I'm a good guy. I shot him," and you stand there like you're standing over a deer that you just took out. But go ahead.
Right.
Give me
So, all right, here's fair use, guys. This is from the. This is going to be the whole. I'm gonna turn the music down so we can actually hear this. This is going to be the 911 call, describing what's taking place. And now, with the description, it turns into a scenario. Yeah, we'll talk about that at the end.
Yep.
Austin 911, do you need police, fire, EMS, or mental health services?
Police and possibly mental health.
To what address or nearest cross street?
2301 second, or is this third? I forget. Fletcher. Second and Fletcher, I believe.
Oh, okay. And is it a house, duplex, or an apartment?
These are houses.
Okay. And is it happening at 2301 South 3rd?
No, it's across the street at a duplex on Second.
Across the street at duplex on 2nd Street. Okay. And what's your first name?
So they bleeped all that out. His name.
There's a guy on the left side of the duplex approached me earlier today saying that he saw two suspicious people earlier. I was wanting to know if I saw them as well, and I hadn't. And he is currently running around outside with, I believe, a rifle. And he's
is this
just
the person that
lifting it up and
approached you?
pointing it down the street.
Okay. So he's pointing a rifle down the street? towards the
Yeah. And currently he's starting to go back inside. He's got all of his lights on now.
He's inside the house now?
He's standing in the doorway of his house.
Okay. Does he still have the rifle?
Yes.
Is he pointing, does it look like he's pointing it at anyone?
Currently it's at low ready.
It's still in his hand.
Now what she's doing right now is typing the stuff for the police officer to come on the scene.
Looks like he's white.
Could you see what color shirt?
Not a shirt. He's wearing what is that garment called? Looks kind of like most of a robe.
Okay, so can you see what color?
It's gray.
Gray, and you
And
said it's
he
a
has-
robe?
Dark pants.
Does he appear to be under the influence of drugs or alcohol? You can't tell.
Couldn't say for drugs. He's definitely too coordinated for alcohol.
Okay.
This guy's very detailed.
And then
Yep,
he
he's a
still
security
has
guard.
health issues?
Mm-hmm.
No idea. But considering how paranoid he's acting, it might be.
Do you happen to know the name of the duplexes?
No, I wouldn't know the name of it.
Okay. And it's on 2nd Street, though.
Yeah.
Across the street.
So with this, we can go ahead and advance to the.
Yeah, when you think
Video.
about the time, because somewhere in here, as the security guard is talking,
One on the left.
the guy fires a
empty
shot,
lot
and he
on the
says
right.
that,
Mhm.
and that's when it
Top of-
changes everything, turns it from.
Oh, he says that in the.
Oh, he says
conversation?
it in the tape somewhere, and he says toward the end of it, he says he just
Okay.
fired a shot,
And the,
Okay.
and that's what changes it into a active shooter
And
situation. Because at
over
this
there.
point, they don't know why he's shooting a gun.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. All of his lights on and off.
And
See
you
me
said he-
in a, like to tell what color is over there.
Okay, it's
They'll see
And you
me
said
in a gray 4-door sedan at 2301 itself.
now you can see him in the video right here.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's been doing this for a while.
Right,
This is not. He just walked out the
right.
house.
You could tell by the time that it took
did
for this,
he,
all the questions
So
back and forth.
ask you? Sorry, I lost my question.
Yeah. You want this?
He almost seems to be scared of something inside of his home.
Oh,
See?
you say he's turning his lights on and off?
He said, "Yep, you want this."
Yeah, the outside light. It looks like he's currently pointing his rifle at the interior of his home.
And he's talking to somebody.
Yeah,
You're fucking stupid.
See,
So he's now pointing it inside his home?
he was having mental
Yeah, it
issues.
looks like.
hmm Another one.
He
Pop.
didn't. He,
Oh,
See,
yeah,
there
he
it
takes a
is.
shot.
Watch, here it goes.
he just fired.
hmm
Police
Fired
passing
up.
by as he just
He
fired.
fired into his
You
home.
saw that?
The police are here.
You hear him?
Okay.
He's right. That was the first time they saw it.
Are you wanting to
Fired again.
See,
That's the
and then
second
fired
shot.
again. So these guys coming in, all they hear is two shots.
He's coming out. Go ready. Boom.
See?
Take him down.
See?
Yeah.
Oh, damn it.
David 309, shots taken, suspect down.
Okay, I'll go ahead and let
See?
officers
And here I wasn't me.
Suspect's down, hands are up.
No problem.
Wasn't me.
Shut your hands, do it now!
It wasn't me.
You good? Yeah, I'm good. 309,
Hey,
give me
come to us,
command.
come to us. Yeah,
That's stupid. Come to us.
guns on the ground.
AR-15's on the ground.
You just
Okay,
put
you
two
ready?
bullets in the dude, and you tell him to
Move
come
up,
to me.
move.
Yeah.
Have EMS.
Oh no, I think he was
moving up.
talking about the other officers. The third.
No, he
officer
told him
came
to
out.
come to him. He told the suspect to come to
Yeah.
him.
It's 3 officers right now. See,
Mm-hmm.
they just got into a reverse wedge. Now they got online. They definitely had some training.
Got it.
Yeah.
We pass. Push past us. Frito? No, I'll hold lethal. Austin police! Anybody in here?
Hook him. Hook him.
So the guy was having mental issues. He never should have owned.
Hook
He
him.
never should have
Okay.
owned that firearm.
Yep.
That firearm just made his mental issues get even.
Roll over your
Worse.
stomach, buddy.
Right.
So we can help you roll on your stomach. So we can.
And he's
But-
part of he was a consultant for restaurants. So he's like, probably somebody that goes all over the country, or from this video and from the report that I read, he was just getting back from California.
He didn't
And-
need that gun.
No, everybody. But the thing is, and it's funny. It's
turned
funny that
himself.
you say that. But the thing is, that's his right.
I understand it's his right, but his mental capacity, you obviously see, he's been struggling with mental issues probably for a while.
What about if it was that he was just paranoid at that moment because he saw things that he in his house that were moved that he says, and maybe they were
Dude,
never moved. Maybe
I
we would never know.
I have seen some of the most wildest stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell. Dude, I got ghost stories that'll blow your mind. You know
Bro,
what I'm saying?
Remember, we
You-
both old, bro. I could tell you,
I
dude.
mean,
I will tell you stories that you would go. I'm
but
not talking to you no
I'm-
more.
Right, but it doesn't phase me. I even slept in the cemetery, bro.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we had something happen in the cemetery.
Mhm.
I'm just like, dude, if your mental ability is not there, you won't know.
Right. Well,
You won't know.
that's what I'm saying. He obviously has the ability to move around as though he was normal.
Right.
In this particular state, we don't know if he's done this before and just wasn't detected. Imagine if he's done this inside the house and the security guard never saw him. Right?
I'm
Now-
trying to figure out where those 2 bullets went.
It looked like he pointed him into that doorway. It looks like that was the doorway
Yeah,
to
but
go
what's
into the
behind his
duplex.
house? That's a 5.56.
Right. Yeah.
You
I
know?
agree. Definitely. But my point is, he doing that in that situation. We know people who to this day will tell you that they're going to go searching outside their house because they got flashlights on their gun, and that is what they think that they're going to do. And it's no different
Right.
than this guy who's
You can end up getting yourself shot because
you
somebody
don't know who else is seeing you unless you're on some kind of farm and you're the only person out there and you're in a neighborhood and you decide that you're going to go check the barn, or not the barn, but you're going to check your shed
Now,
in the
I
middle of the
know
night
some
with a
cats-
rifle.
Well, I know some cats that live on a farm.
Right,
And
that's
they
different.
And they said it takes the sheriff's 45 minutes to get to their house. I said, you do what you got to do.
Right. That's
At
a
that
totally
point,
different
you need a
situation. You on your
flashlight.
own.
You need to secure your place because
Right.
you can't wait. You know what I'm saying?
Nope. You
And,
need to have some lighting system on the outside that you can turn that switch and make it daytime.
Right. And that's basically what I told him. I said, And I said, you need to carry your firearm. And the guy, he showed me pictures of himself. He had as he was working on his farm, his rifle was slung across his back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he
And,
was
and
like,
that understandable because you're out there in no man's land. But I'm talking about this guy in a residential neighborhood, and we don't know if he's done this before inside, and then now he's outside. When
Well-
you go outside and you have neighbors, because the dude who called didn't know him,
no, that was just the guy living across the street. in
right?
his
But he
home.
recognized that he was a homeowner and not just a stranger or a quote unquote invader.
Right,
he
because the
understood
guy
that.
confronted him earlier today and said, "Do you see anybody around here that was strange?" He was going through something already,
Yep.
and so, but before he had called the police, this guy, and before the video, this video is probably longer. They won't
Oh, it
show
is.
it. And this guy had been running around, patrolling outside the house, acting like he's talking to somebody that's in his house.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody was there.
And that was November 15th.
Right.
So that's even before the holiday.
Yeah, Thanksgiving.
When that
I don't know why is it just not coming out. Ain't that something? You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's because they released the body film, or whatever, the body camera film. You know, it takes a little while. They want to make sure that if they release it, it's legit and it's going to favor them, not, yeah, I mean, think about it. There's no police
No,
chief.
not really. Come
No
on,
legal-
look at the guy George Floyd. They didn't care about that videotape.
You know how
They
long it
released
took?
that?
It was 2 years
How long
later.
it took? It was 2 years.
2 years.
Jeez.
Yeah, that kid when it came out, they had already, that dude was gone a long
Right.
time.
All right, let's get back to this cat. This dude was this was a red flag. He should have been under the red flag law. You know what I'm
you
saying?
agree with that now?
No, I don't.
Oh, you just
But
said he
under-
should be under the red flag.
But
law.
he was a danger to himself and to the public at that
Right.
point. Yeah.
And he should have been EPS'd,
Right.
which is emergency petition that every state has it. He
But
should
the
have been,
police.
but nobody knew. Look at the parents. When you see,
Right.
if you watch the video, watch the one with the nightly
Yeah.
news guy. The parents are sitting there and they're confused and don't have a clue what's
They're trying
going
to say
on.
he was a good guy. Yeah.
Well, he is
probably-
a good guy.
He was a good guy, but he has mental problems.
But at that moment, he
And,
lost his mind, and
he
now he lost his
mind.
life.
And
But
they
the
let
thing
that-
is, there's a common denominator between this. When you call the police, don't have a damn weapon in your hand.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Right. Right.
And
not
again,
have
that goes back to training. That young man that was behind that rifle, the police officer, when he saw that guy, and I'm sure that all the training he's had and all the videos he's ever seen, you ain't got a whole lot of time to be, waiting and see if this guy's going to drop it and turn around. He's got a rifle just like yours. That's equal firepower at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to take advantage of it. I mean, it's a sad situation, but unfortunately, in both cases, the police did what they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
And
I had no problems. I what they did was totally okay in my book. The guy had mental issues, and it got out of hand, and he became a threat to the public and himself at that
Right.
point.
And
So
you
it's
know,
like-
the one thing that you could throw in there is what would happen if the officer had said, drop it, and gave him 10
And he
times. He
didn't.
said, drop it. No, what about if he did? Would he drop it or not? That'd be something totally different. You don't want to wait that long. This is my point.
yeah, we don't know.
You don't know. You see a guy, everybody knows that when the police are there, don't have your hand on no gun.
Right.
Just don't.
Keep your mittens, keep your paws off the guns.
Yep. Put it
You know what I'm
down,
saying?
let it go, do
Right.
whatever you have to do. Because we've
Right.
seen it time and time again. The security guard in Florida who did the right thing, some nut job came in with a rifle, I believe. He had a pistol, took the dude down, and again, what did he do? He handcuffed the guy, got on top of him, was holding him at gunpoint. What happened? You already handcuffed him. He's disabled. Leave him there. Put the
Holster.
gun away. But he didn't
Yeah.
put his gun away. Officer came around the corner, sees this guy on top of him, and blazed him.
And shot him.
The young man that was it was in the Marines or something like that. He was in a mall. The active shooter goes out. He draws his gun. First cop on the scene, they see him with the gun. They blaze him,
Right.
and he was a good guy.
Yeah. He was a
You know?
good guy.
You don't have anything to identify you that says that you're a good guy. Nobody knows that you're a good guy.
Yeah. Nobody
That-
knows.
That and the thing is, if you have a firearm and you are able to, and you see the guy, you have to work and train to the point where you can be concealed and then be lethal within less than a second.
Right.
Everybody wants to be that 1 second draw and shoot. That's when it counts.
You got to think about the after.
Not on the gram.
Think about the after.
Yep. Think
Yeah.
about everything else, but you have to be prepared because if you're walking around with a gun and you got your gun exposed, and maybe you cut the corner, and now this guy's on your flank, the bad guy you were looking for,
Right.
you're fucked. And then if you turn around and you look at it in the other way, and you get the drop on him, if you have the gun that's concealed, it should not be so concealed that you're coming off shoulder holster or coming out your ankle or what's that stupid tuck gun with the guns in a little pouch and it pops up when you pull it out. You ain't got no stupidness like that on, that you have it available in a custom made Kydex holster, and all
But
you
the
hear
thing,
is
yeah, I understand that, but I'm just saying after the shooting,
Mm-hmm.
you need to preserve yourself and not to get shot
Right.
by the police when they come up on the scene. So you have to put that gun away. You have to hide it. You have to, if you don't want to do that, put yourself in a cover position where if they do come up on scene, you're not going to be immediately shot.
right.
You
And
know,
that's something that you have to work into your training. So
Right.
we used to, what's the guy? I forgot his name. One of these guys used to do this all the time when he pow, pow, pow.
Oh yeah, that's stupid. Right.
But
And then they started doing another one where you go pow pow pow. Then they wanted people to look with the firearm. You remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, my thing is, I understand that because they're trying to break the tunnel vision.
Tunnel
But
vision.
what you should be practicing is pow pow pow. When you finish, reload and move the cover while you're holstering.
Right.
Get that in the registry. Get that
You
that
can
set
go
into it.
Remember, you guys don't have to stand on the scene. You can walk into a building. You can walk into your house. You can walk anywhere.
Get back in your car.
Get back in your car to get some cover. So when the police come up on scene, and you need to get on the phone and start talking to that 911 operator, identifying, yes, I'm the person who had to defend myself.
Right.
And don't be saying I'm the shooter and stuff like that.
Right.
I had to defend myself, and I am the victim, and let them know you're the victim that's wearing such and such. The gun is put away. I'm gonna come out with my hands up, and so the scene is cold.
Yeah. And trust and believe that when you show up, you will be handcuffed.
Yes.
If you're
going
not,
to jail.
that'll be gravy. But more than
Right.
likely, when you come back or when you come out and say you're the guy, they're gonna handcuff you.
Yes. So be prepared for that. So don't start resisting. Don't start fighting.
Yep.
And, why you arresting me? Why you handcuffing? They don't know what's going on.
Nope.
And so they need to handcuff you because you just admitted that you had to defend yourself. They don't know if you're the victim or the perpetrator. So
Right.
you have to be handcuffed. You're being detained, not being charged. You're being detained until they can talk to witnesses, because you shouldn't be talking to them. Talk to witnesses and figure out what happened.
Right.
And if the witnesses are all going to tell their story right, you're good. And if there's video of it, you're good. Don't
Yep.
worry about it. Keep your mouth
Exactly.
shut. You know what I'm saying? Prepare to go to jail until you get yourself a lawyer to get you out. But do not talk to those police.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's you learn these things when you go to different classes and you listen and you read these type of things, as opposed to just buying the next firearm that just came out last week, or the newest Gen 5, Gen 7, or whatever the hell is out there right now. That's what you need to spend your money on. You start taking classes from lawyers and people who prosecute cases, judges. They're online all the time. Some of them you don't have to leave your house. Read the law and understand it, so that when you're potentially, if it ever happens to you, hopefully it never happens. Hopefully you never get into a gunfight
Right.
or a situation where you have to actively use a firearm.
Right.
And then things like this occur too, because these guys didn't. The knife guy and the guy just walking around his house. He's afraid of something in his house, and instead of calling the police himself, he's going to take it upon himself, because now he's empowered with that rifle. Because he should have just called the police and said, "Hey, could send somebody out here to check my house? I came home and whatever it was that he saw that was disturbed. That's it." And then you stay outside and let them go to work.
And
They
they
come
would have
back.
got out there and they saw him talking to himself. They were like, "Sir,
Probably.
do you have any
Probably.
firearms?"
Right.
They
Probably.
was like, "Yes." And he probably went to try to go get it, and they probably would have shot him.
No, he
And,
wouldn't have went to get it. If he would have
yeah.
called them, and the way he responded to them when they shot his ass, he was, "Hey, I'm not the one," because he wanted him to shoot the one there was nobody.
Right.
I don't know what the name of the movie. What the hell is it?
That's a pretty good
I see
shot,
dead
man.
people. He probably was
Pretty-
seeing people, huh?
That was a pretty good shot from that distance.
Oh yeah,
That was a very good shot.
and he used that cover, that wall excellently.
Perfectly.
Yeah, that wall.
They
I
were
mean,
that was a highly trained
there were at least all three of them.
they were highly trained.
And that's
they
the thing,
knew
you
what they
get
were doing.
across the nation, you'll get that. Clayton County Police Department had great training for a long time. I don't know if it's still doing that now, but in this region, I would put them up against almost everybody. I watched some of their training and participated in a lot of it. And then same thing with Clayton County Sheriff's Department when our buddy was over there. Ken Park was over there.
Yeah.
And they were getting top notch training from him.
Oh yeah.
So it goes across the board. It's up and down, up and down. Some of the smaller agencies can't afford it, and then some of the bigger agencies just overlook it.
Yeah.
But it's definitely needed.
Yeah. Definitely needed.
Yeah.
Big time. Yeah. So those are the stories we wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
That happened all just this month of November. So it's a lot more of them that happens. They're hard to keep up with. because when the shooting is justified or not in favor of nothing to be racial or what do you want to say it? What's the other word for hate. All right, then
You're
the
biased.
news or biased. Yeah, the news won't show it. So, or they'll show it for a couple of days when it happened, then all of a sudden it disappears. So it takes a long time for you to find and search. We had luckily Al sent this story. No, you sent the other story
Right.
in our back channels. And this story we had to search for,
Mm-hmm.
and it was hard to search for.
Right.
And like I said, the body cam stuff from the other story from the police officers, that story hit across Instagram and it immediately was taken off within a day or two.
Right.
But they showing war scenes from what's that country that's fighting
Ukraine?
right now? Ukraine. They're showing war scenes from Ukraine and dead guys all over the place, but they won't show.
Because they still trying to garner the sympathy for us to be able to do something at the next stages.
Yeah. So I mean, it's totally. I mean, they picking and choosing what they want, and then if somebody goes out like the nightclub shooter, shooter turned out to be he was a rainbow guy himself.
Right. Non-binary.
Yeah. So
Curmudgeon over here.
yeah. So it's like they was trying to push a hate crime, and it
Right.
wasn't a
But
hate
then
crime.
it's like he's part of that and he was frustrated. So now all of a sudden it's a moot point.
And you notice the story disappeared.
Yeah.
Just like we thought it was going to disappear.
Mm-hmm.
Very funny, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But had he had fit the right demographics, we still be talking about it right now.
Oh yeah, because they've been using. Oh, he had this type of gun, and that's they don't even want to discuss this type of gun.
Right.
They didn't want to discuss how he got it.
So one was a rifle and the other one was a pistol, and all of a sudden you don't hear about neither one.
right,
Right.
exactly. Isn't that something?
Mm-hmm. And at that point, you got both semi-automatics. There was I think it was just recently somebody said that they confronted him and asked him, "Do you mean all semi-automatics?" Or they asked his press secretary, "Did he mean all semi-automatics?"
No, he actually said it.
Yeah, on Thanksgiving. So
On Thanksgiving Day.
a reporter asked for clarification, and he said,
Right.
"Does he mean all semi-automatics or the modern sporting rifle?" And she said, "All." He was correct. And
When we're talking about our current president at this time, he's talking about he wants to get rid of all firearms in the United States. All. And they have the means to do it with HR 1808. It's right there. It's right there. It slipped through the crack.
Dang. That's crazy.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And you won't be giving you no monetary value for what you own already.
No, they won't give you nothing.
They
It's
give you nothing.
confiscation. You turn it in or you go to jail.
Yep.
That's magazines and firearms, pistols.
Yep.
Turn it in or go to jail.
Dude,
That's
crazy.
That's the only recourse you have. And if you don't turn it in and you think you're going to act like you called to have your gun stolen and all that stuff, and they do a search warrant and you have them in your house that's not been bought on a 4473 recently, or they don't have your name on the list and they find it, you're still going to jail. So you're going to jail. Everybody will be a criminal.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's what it will come down to. There's nothing else, no other way around it.
So look at China right now. Yeah. That's what they want to do to us. So
Damn.
yep, there it is.
Yep. I mean, total control at that point, bro.
Nothing you can do. You're fighting back with broomsticks.
No, we go back to them slingshots.
Yeah.
Biplanes.
Exactly. Well, they ain't say anything about bow and arrows, but
Right.
or crossbows.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there
Yeah.
they didn't put on the list.
But I still prefer cartridges.
Yes. On the end of my crossbow.
And now what's that guy's name? Hawkeye?
Yeah. Mythbusters realized that doesn't even work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't work. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the show. We're back. So we had to miss last weekend. Apologize for that.
Mhm.
There was some unforeseen event that happened,
Yep.
and so there's nothing we can do about Murphy's Law. When it
Exactly.
happens, it happens.
Yes, it does.
And, so we're here and we're back. Like I said, we're on Rumble tonight. Woo!
Check us out on
my
Rumble.
God. Check us out on Rumble. Check us out on YouTube, and like and share, everybody. Please like and share.
Yeah, at
Like
least
and
one share, bro. One share.
Yeah. And we'll go from there. All right. We'll see you guys in the range.
See you on the range.
Look at this guy. All right. So we got some thumbs up. All right. See you in the range.